Flamingo chef, show us what you got with cocktails and dishes that hit the sweet spot.
Hey guys, Bill the Kansas Flamingo Chef. First, I want to apologize. I know a lot of my subscribers have been sending me messages wanting to know why I haven't been doing any content. Short version is my mother passed away and I just hadn't felt up to the task. But I'm back on track. Let's get started with a request from a viewer, and that's air fryer chicken wings. Now, chicken wings are one of my absolute favorite things. And there's a couple of things I want to say before I really get started about the chicken wings. Number one, you can traditionally fry them in oil. You can cook them in an oven. You can grill them. But I like them out of the air fryer because the result is just amazing. First thing I want to tell you is don't buy frozen wings. If you do, you're going to have to thaw them out. The consistency and quality usually isn't very good. You know, if you just don't have the space to keep them, I get it, but I'm not a frozen wing guy. And if you do fry them in oil and they're not completely thawed, you're going to have an absolute mess. So I like nice fresh wings. I buy the whole wing and just segment them. It's very easy. It's only 2 cuts and you got a drum and a flat. As far as the sauce for wings, it's limitless. I mean, whatever you like. If you go to a wing place, they're always going to have your traditional buffalo, and they're going to have crazy hot sauces and all kinds of dry rubs, and you can do all that at home. So really the first thing to do is figure out what kind of sauce you want. My absolute favorite, if I'm going to do buffalo, is Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce. This is already put together. There's nothing to do here except toss them in the sauce. I make my own sauce quite often, but this is fast and easy. And when we're talking air fryer, we're talking fast and easy. If you'd like something with a little more Caribbean flair, I highly recommend this. Calypso hot sauce from Jamaica is so good, so different, and it makes for a really interesting flavor profile. You could always do garlic sauce or a white sauce, whatever you like. You can use barbecue sauce. If you really want to spice things up, grab yourself a bottle of this Grace jerk seasoning from Jamaica. Use it sparingly, but it's fantastic. Or if you want to dry rub with some heat, one of my favorites is just Jamaican jerk dry rub that I make. Now, this process is super easy. You're going to need a bowl. You're going to need an air fryer. You're going to need whatever sauce you want to use, and you're going to need wings. You're also going to need a little salt and pepper, and I like to put some garlic in there as well. Good idea to use a liner when you're doing this. So I'm going to drop in a silicone liner into my air fryer. I've got some Kinder's The Blend. I'm not going to use very much of this. All I'm going to do is fill up the base of my air fryer. And you can put as many in here as you want. Just remember, overcrowding leads to a lesser finished product. So I've got about a dozen pieces in there. I'm just going to grab my seasoning with the hand I have not touched the chicken with and sprinkle some of this in here. It doesn't need a lot. I probably put in about 2 teaspoons. And then I'm just going to mix those around a little bit so that they all get seasoned. I'm going to cook this on 400 degrees for 25 minutes. At about halfway, somewhere in the halfway time. I'm going to take the basket out and just shake the wings around so that they move and get evenly cooked. Then we're going to toss them in sauce. That's literally all there is to it. At about the halfway point, all you need to do is open the air fryer. And you can see they're getting some nice color. But we want to move them around a little bit so the areas that aren't getting as well cooked get that opportunity. There's only about 2.5 minutes left till they're done. So when they come out, we're going to roll them in sauce. Now, then you're going to want something to dip them with, right? I just wanted to give a little insider tip. Thicker dip is better for wings. Now, I usually like blue cheese dressing, but with wings, I kind of like ranch. And even though I'm a Hidden Valley fan, this is the best over-the-counter grocery store ranch that you can get to dip wings in because it's thick. So give that a try. The wings are going to come out in less than a minute. So I'm going to use buffalo. I'm just going to make buffalo wings. I've got a pretty decent sized bowl here. You don't need a lot of sauce for this. I'm basically just going to cover the bottom of the bowl. That's it. So there might be a couple tablespoons in there. And I've still got enough sauce to do this probably a couple more times. As I take these out, I'm just going to drop them right in this sauce. Move them around a little bit. You can use your hands, you can use tongs. And if you're like me and you've had a little practice, you can flip them in the bowl as well. When you take these out, you're going to notice there's some chicken grease in the bottom of here. That's all right. In fact, I'm going to move them around in it a little bit because they've actually fried in their own grease, which produces a better product, quite frankly. Now, I suggest doing this with tongs because these things are going to be hot. And all I'm going to do is just transfer them right into the bowl. As I said, you can kind of move these around with the tongs a little bit. Get the sauce on them. I like to do that first before I start tossing them in the sauce because that way I get a little cover on each one. Finished product, air fried buffalo wings. These didn't come frozen out of a bag. They're fresh, they have great flavor. You can use any kind of sauce you want. The whole thing took 30 minutes. And it can be faster if you deep fry them. Look at this, I got nothing to clean up. So until next time, eat fabulous. I will see you soon. And by all means, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.
In the heart of Kansas, under sky so clear, lives a chef with a flair, bringing folks some cheer. With a pinch of love and a dash of zest, he's the Kansas Flamingo, and his meals are the best.